What are the three main obstacles that you might encounter in your journey of fulfilling your dreams or to your full potential? Hi, and welcome to Live Your Hero's Journeys podcast. I am your host, Pheh Sze. I've gone through multiple hero's journey from becoming a pharmacist, being the founder of a startup that connects people through the love of food, a philosophical author, and also a speaker and coach. In today's episode, we're going to discuss about the three main obstacles that you may encounter in the process of achieving your dream or trying to live to your full potential. In my multiple heroes journey, I always found that these three obstacles keep on creeping up along my journey. In any of the journey that you go through, you are guaranteed to be met by obstacles. And the real value of doing or going through your journey is to overcome those obstacles. So the first thing is that we have to bring forward or shine a light on those obstacles so that we can do something about it. So the first one, you may relate to this, is perfectionism. Are you the type of person that start a new project but you never submitted the project or they're half finished? Or you always want to make sure that you have all the ducks lined up before you start? I remember when I started a new project, especially in writing my book, I felt that the perfectionism tendency keep on creeping up, especially as the date grows nearer and nearer to the publishing date. I would stare at the blank state of paper and so afraid and paralyzed to write even one sentence. So this is what I meant by perfectionism. Or when you created a new business or a website, you fret over the little tiny things. In a bigger scheme of event, they don't really matter as much, at least in the long term. You fret about the logo, the color, the font, all little things that you think that you have to get it right before you can even start. Do you relate to any of these? So perfectionism can creep up in any of the journey that we may face, and it comes in the spectrum. So there's a difference between, say, striving for excellence and perfectionism. And sometimes it's hard to distinguish between the two. There's sometimes that I feel that I don't want to publish this work because I just don't think that it's good enough, or I think that I can do better than that. Or is that a sign of perfectionism? They always say it's better done than perfect, right? So for me, the indicator to know whether I'm being a perfectionist or if I'm just not doing to the best that I can is to ask myself this question. If given time, will I still publish this? Or I would never do it because I never think that it's going to be up to standard. And most of the time, I find that it's a perfectionism. And to focus more on the progress than to hit the perfect note every single time. So it's devotion to the process and not being perfect. The second thing is, I find, and it's closely related to perfectionism, which procrastination. How many of you can relate to this? I will do it tomorrow. We always push things to the next day, to the next day, and next day, and by the time you know it, months have passed, years have passed, and the book that you want to write is still in the drawer. The painting that you don't paint is still a blank canvas, or the business that you want to start is just in the ideation form. So procrastination is a vicious cycle. So the more you procrastinate, the harder it is for you to do the work. And it's very closely related to perfectionism, because if I can't get it right, I don't want to do it, right? I find that I experienced this recently during my 10-day series of How to Live Your Hero's Journey. I have 2 weeks off, and the first week I procrastinated a lot, thinking that I have the next week to do the things that I want to do. And when the second week came up, I was frantically rushing and to do all the tasks in the list, and I was thinking to myself, why did I not do these when I have all the time in the world to do it, and leave it to the last minute when I'm rushing for time? Then I only start to take action, which then relate to the third obstacles, which is the lack of motivation. So some of the days when I don't feel like doing what I'm doing, I'm procrastinating because I felt that I've a lack of the motivation. And some days when you wake up, you don't feel like in the best mood, and you tend to think that, oh, I have to wait when I feel more motivated to do the things that I wanted to do. If I were to really reflect on those 3 obstacles, all of them boils down to the main root cause, which is fear. The fear might come out in different form in different people, right? And I find that these are forms of fear. It could be the fear of judgment, the fear of success, or fear of failure. So for example, it's very easy to hide behind perfectionism. You can say or console yourself, I'm not going to launch the business, I'm not going to publish the book because it is just not up to the standard that I want to showcase to the world. So it just feels that it's a better excuse than to expose ourselves to the world and to get judged that, oh, the work is not good enough. Or people have heard of this idea before. Or this is not going to work. Who do you think you are? And it all boils down to the fear. In my own experience, the fear would not go away. It is what you do with the fear at the end of the day that matter the most. Just as I said, it doesn't matter how scared you are. It matters how courageous you are. And that is the whole point of going towards your vision, or following your dream, or pursuing something, because it gives you a motivation or a vision to become a better person. And obstacles is the way to success. And it's by overcoming those obstacles that you feel good about yourself and making the project or dream worthwhile. I'm sure in any pursuit that you do, no matter how passionate you are about those projects or dreams or business, there are certain aspects of the task that you may not enjoy. Or there are some days you're just not as inspired or motivated. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. What matters is how you face them and how you overcome them. And that is the true value of living to your full potential. So just to recap, the fear that might come up in a different form are perfectionism tendency, procrastination, and lack of motivation. Which of the 3 that you find that you struggle the most with? In the next 3 episodes, we're going to tackle one by one of the topic, and I'm going to share the experience that I had or the strategies that I used to overcome those obstacles. So until the next episode, live a life worth writing about. I'll see you soon.